Hi students, welcome to yet another session of my class. We are discussing the paper Writings on Contemporary Issues. And in the last class, we discussed about the effects of drug abuse, solution to drug abuse, and also we discussed about the condition of the street children who are addicted to drugs in Delhi. Today we are going to discuss about the initiatives to fight against drug abuse. Yes, I already told you there are so many governmental and non-governmental organizations that are existing in our country. So let us discuss what are the initiatives to fight against this drug abuse. The Haryana government implemented a scheme titled Central Sector Scheme of Assistance for Prevention of Alcoholism and Substance. That is, substance in the sense drug abuse. So please note that title because it is important for 1-mark question. That is, the Haryana government implemented a scheme. What is the title of that particular scheme? It is Central Sector Scheme of Assistance for Prevention of Alcoholism and Substance. And who put forward that scheme? That is the Haryana government. And what is the objective of that scheme? To curb the issue of drug abuse, to lessen or to reduce the issue of drug abuse. So the Haryana government has implemented a scheme. They implemented a scheme, and the main objective behind the scheme is to lessen or to reduce the issue of drug abuse. Under this scheme, financial assistance was given to the eligible NGOs, Panchayati Raj institutions and urban local bodies by the government, which in turn will provide integrated services for the rehabilitation of addicts. Yes, under this scheme. So what is the objective? Under this scheme, financial assistance was given to the eligible NGOs. That is some fund. That fund was provided to the eligible non-governmental organizations, some Panchayati Raj institutions and other urban local bodies by the government. For what? Which in turn will provide integrated services for the rehabilitation of addicts, for the proper treatment and the de-addiction and the rehabilitation of addicts. That is, some fund, some financial assistance was given to the eligible governmental as well as non-governmental organizations for what? For the rehabilitation of the addicts or for the proper treatment or the de-addiction process of these people. An advisory was issued by the government to all states and union territories, asking them to take measures for the prevention of substance abuse among children. And also, an advisory was issued by the central government to all states and union territories of this country, asking them to take enough measures for the prevention of this substance abuse or drug abuse among children. Charidhar Nirman Sevda Trust, an NGO. Please note that name because it is important for 1-mark question. Charidhar Nirman Sevda Trust for 1-mark question, and 2-mark question it is important. That is to name 2 non-governmental organization. Please look at the next paragraph. Chedana. Chedana is another non-governmental organization. So name 2 non-governmental organizations. One is Charidhar Nirman Sevda Trust and the other one is Chedana. So Charidhar Nirman Sevda Trust, it is an NGO, that is non-governmental organization. And they engaged in de-addiction and social reformation. Stated that about 80% of the prisoners in Tihar are addicted to either tobacco, ganja, smack or alcohol. Yes. So what is the objective of this particular non-governmental organization? They engaged in de-addiction process. And also they engaged in de-addiction and social reformation, and stated that they, according to their census or according to their studies, that is this non-governmental organization, they stated that about 80% of the prisoners in Tihar jail are addicted to drugs. That is addicted to various types of drugs like tobacco, ganja, smoke or alcohol. That is about 80% of prisoners in that particular jail, that is in Tihar jail, they are addicted to this substance abuse. So they engaged in, that is the main objective behind this non-government organization, this Charita Nirman Sevada Trust. They engaged in de-addiction and the social reformation of these prisoners in the Tihar jail. And it is suggested that there is a need for more counselors in this jail, and they also put forward certain suggestions. This Charita Nirman Sevda Trust, they suggested that there is a need for more counselors in the jail to tackle depression among the prisoners who consorted to drugs because of it, who consorted to means used, who used drugs daily, or who are addicted to these drugs. So there is a need for more counselors in jail. We all know that. I already told you that the behavior of such addicted person, that is like a euphoric behavior, or behave like a mad person in a frenzied state, or anxiety, etc. That is some mental disorder that has happened to such person. So this non-governmental organization, it is suggested that there is a need for more counselors in the jail to handle such people, to tackle depression among the prisoners who consorted to drugs because of it. That is the main objective of this particular non-governmental organization. For 1 mark and for 2 mark, it is important. And the next one is Chedana. Chedana is an NGO, is another non-governmental organization. So Chedana is an NGO which runs an unofficial recreation center for children inside the Nizamuddin police station. Yes, what is the objective of this Chedana? That is another non-governmental organization. It runs in an unofficial way, and they provided a recreation center for children inside the Nizamuddin police station. And they mainly focus on developing friendly relations between the police and the street children who are more susceptible to drugs and crime. And this Chedana, they mainly focus on developing or establishing a friendly relationship between the police and the street children. In the last class, we discussed about the condition of the street children in Delhi. Out of 50,000, almost 46,000 were addicted to drugs. So, this Chedana, that non-governmental organization, they provided recreation, or they tried to establish a friendly relationship between the police and the street children, and they also they established some recreation centers inside the Nizamuddin police station. For what? To uh, help these street children to free from that drug usage. So they mainly focus on developing friendly relations, establishing friendly relation between the street children and the police who are more susceptible. We all know that the street children, they don't have any parents or family, something like that. So they do not get any proper advice or something like that. So they are easily addicted to or attracted to these types of negative habits. So this is the main objective of this non-governmental organization, that is Chedana, that is establishing a friendly relationship among the police and the street children. And we all know that the street children who are more susceptible to drugs and crime. So, to help these stray children from using these substances or drugs, that is the main objective behind this non-governmental organization, that is Chedana, that is to help these stray children to free from this negative habit. Then next one is the Delhi AIDS Control Society, DACS. It is important. Please note that abbreviation. It is for 1 mark question. It is important. DACS, DACS, DACS. What is the expansion of DACS? The Delhi AIDS Control Society. So, DAX suggested a plan in which more than 400 medical officers working in 260 Delhi government dispensaries and 150 specialists working in 32 Delhi government hospitals will be trained on a long-term basis at the Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences, IHBAS, as there was a scarcity of psychiatrists and trained manpower to work with the patients of drug abuse. So this DAX suggested a plan. What is that? According to their studies, more than 400 medical officers working in different, that is almost 260 hospitals or in Delhi government dispensaries, and almost 150 specialist doctors are working in 32 Delhi government hospitals according to their studies. And they suggest that these specialists, that is this 400 medical practitioners as well as this 150 specialist doctors, they will be trained on a long-term basis at the Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences. They will be trained, they should be trained on a long-term basis at the Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences, IHBAS. For what? As there was a scarcity of psychiatrists and trained manpower or trained medical practitioners to work with the patients of drug abuse. That is, Charidhar Nirman Sevdar Trust also suggested that there is a need for more counselors in Tihar jail to handle such people. So here also this Delhi AIDS Control Society DAX also suggested that there was a scarcity of psychiatrists and trained medical practitioners to work with the patients of drug abuse. So they suggested a plan. What is that plan? That is in which more than 400 medical officers working in different Delhi government dispensaries, that is almost 260 Delhi government dispensaries, and almost 150 specialist doctors were working in 32 Delhi government hospitals, and they will be trained on a long-term basis at the Institute of Human Behavior and Allied Sciences, because there was a scarcity of psychiatrists and trained medical practitioners to work with these people, to work with the patients of drug abuse. And they also advised keeping a strict check on the sale and purchase of addictive medicines available in pharmacies. And this DAX put forward or advised uh, another suggestion, or they also advised uh, keeping a strict check on the sale and purchase of addictive medicines available in pharmacies. We all know that there are so many medical shops, they are selling some illegal drugs to such people without any permission, without any doctor's prescription or something like that. So DAX suggested that, or they also advised keeping a strict control or keeping a strict check on the sale and purchase of, that is a sale and purchase of such addictive medicines available in pharmacies, that is without any permission from the medical field or without any proper license or something like that. So keep a strict check on such cases, or check on the sale and purchase of such addictive medicines in our medical shops. The licenses of 20 shops had been cancelled in 2016 who sold such harmful drugs. Yes. The licenses of 20 medical shops had been cancelled in 2016 because they sold such harmful drugs without any permission. So this is the suggestion that DAX put forward for the betterment of these drug addiction or drug addicted people. Please note that it is important for 2-mark question. That is the Delhi AIDS Control Society, that is DAX, their suggestion. Then next one is the Delhi Zonal Unit of the Narcotics Control Bureau suggested utilizing stakeholders like the police, excise, customs and Directorate of Revenue Intelligence in the fight against drug abuse and granting them equal power as per the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. Yes. Another unit, that is the Delhi Zonal Unit of the Narcotics Control Bureau. Yes, we all are familiar with this term, Narcotics Control Bureau. We all know that there are so many forces that is existing in our country under the central government as well as state government to monitor such type of cases, that is drug usage, drug abuse, that is a sale and purchase of such a substance, etc. Like police, excise, narcotics, customs, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence, etc. There are so many agencies, that is both governmental and non-governmental agencies, that is working under the state government and central government, that is existing in our country. So the Delhi Zonal Unit of the Narcotics Control Bureau, they suggested utilizing stakeholders like, that is stakeholders in the sense means the people who are closely associated with this agency, that is like a police, excise, customs and Directorate of Revenue Intelligence. All these are closely associated with this narcotics. But Narcotics Control Bureau, it has some extra power regarding this particular case. So they have enough power to monitor, arrest, etc. Arrest such people. So the Delhi Zonal Unit of the Narcotics Control Bureau suggested utilizing stakeholders or like the police, excise, customs and Directorate of Revenue Intelligence in the fight against drug abuse. They suggested that use these other police forces like excise, customs, police, Directorate of Revenue Intelligence in the fight against drug abuse and granting them equal power like Narcotics Control Bureau. That is the suggestion that has given by Narcotics Control Bureau. What was their suggestion? That is using other police forces like excise, customs and Directorate Revenue Intelligence for what in fighting against drug abuse and granting them and giving them equal power like Narcotics Control Bureau as per the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. As per Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substance Act of 1985, granting them, these other police forces, equal power like a Narcotics Control Bureau to monitor these cases or to fight against this drug abuse. That was the suggestion that had given by the Narcotics Control Bureau. It is the Delhi Zonal Unit of the Narcotics Control Bureau suggested. This is the suggestion that Narcotics Control Bureau has given. And the body also stressed on the need to implement Section 64 of the NDPS Act. And also this Narcotics Control Bureau emphasized, this body also stressed or emphasized on the need to implement Section 64 of the NDPS Act. Then what is this Section 64 of the NDPS Act? They also stressed on the need to implement this Section 64 of the NDPS Act. It is important for 2-mark question, that is state Section 64 of the NDPS Act. This Section 64 states that immunity from prosecution to addicts volunteering for treatment, provided that the said immunity from prosecution may be withdrawn if the addict does not undergo the complete treatment for de-addiction. Please note that section. It is in single inverted comma because the Section 64 states that immunity from prosecution, actually it is a doctrine of international law regarding the person who is addicted to drugs. So immunity from prosecution, we all know that it is a criminal offense, that is the using, buying and selling of drugs. So immunity from prosecution. So immunity from prosecution is a doctrine of international law, that is a victim who has faced prosecution for criminal offences. So immunity from prosecution means, yes, keep away from prosecution. Immunity from prosecution to addicts. Immunity from prosecution. Prosecution means one who faced, that is one who faced means a criminal or the person who has done any crime. So immunity from prosecution, it is a doctrine. It is a doctrine of the international law that is free from prosecution, or to keep away from prosecution, or to keep away from facing prosecution. That is immunity from prosecution. So immunity from prosecution to addicts volunteering for treatment, provided that the said immunity from prosecution may be withdrawn if the addict does not undergo the complete treatment for de-addiction. That is, the section states that granting such person relaxation regarding prosecution if he is undergoing proper treatment, and it can be withdrawn at any time. That relaxation can be withdrawn at any time if the addict does not undergo the complete treatment for de-addiction. That is the Section 64 of the NDPS Act. That is, immunity from prosecution means that relaxation from prosecution, that is to keep away from prosecution because he is undergoing de-addiction treatment. And if he is not able to continue the complete treatment for de-addiction, this officers or the court has the power to withdraw that relaxation, that immunity from prosecution. That is the Section 64 of the NDPS Act states. Once again, I repeat, that is immunity from prosecution to addicts volunteering for treatment, provided that the said immunity from prosecution may be withdrawn if the addict does not undergo the complete treatment for de-addiction. So immunity from prosecution to addicts, that is those who are undergoing treatment, that is the de-addiction treatment, and at any time that relaxation can be withdrawn. That immunity from prosecution may be withdrawn if the addict does not undergo the complete treatment for the addiction, and then that person is forced to face prosecution. That is the Section 64 of the NDPS Act. I think all of you understand this section. It is important for 2-mark question, and please note that please note all these points, that is the initiatives to fight against drug abuse. It is a Haryana government, their implementation, Then two non-governmental organizations, that is Charitha Nirman Sevda Trust and Chetana. And next one is Delhi AIDS Control Society DAX. Then Delhi Zonal Unit of the Narcotics Control Bureau, and last one is Section 64 of the NDPS Act. These are the major initiatives that our writer Samudranil Mukherjee has discussed here. I think all of you understand. That is his observations and his suggestions regarding this issue. What is the issue here? That is the drug abuse. This is a serious issue that is existing in our country among the youngsters. And these are the major observations that he has put forward in this particular article. I think all of you understand this chapter, and we completed our first chapter, that is Drug Abuse Causes and Solutions by Samudranil Mukherjee. I think all of you understand this first chapter. And students, there is a homework for you, and the homework is what is DAX? Expand the abbreviation and its objective. Then second one is State Section 64 of the NDPS Act. And the third one is discuss briefly the scheme implemented by the Haryana government to curb the issue of drug abuse. So these are the three questions for you, for your homework. What is DAX? State Section 64 of the NDPS Act. And the third one is discuss briefly the scheme implemented by the Haryana government to curb the issue of drug abuse. These are the three questions for your assignment, for your homework. Write your homework and take an image of it and send back to me through your WhatsApp. Thank you. Happy learning. See you again.